Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel, General Hospital Diaries. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more detailed videos. Today on General Hospital, Alexis and Rick find common ground, just like Molly and Christina. Plus, Asaya is concealing something important. Diane enters her office and finds Alexis on the floor. Initially, she worries something is wrong, but Alexis explains she's simply trying to meditate. She needed peace before tackling something difficult, reaching a truce with Rick for Molly's sake. She asks Diane to stay as a neutral party. Rick shows up and Alexis thanks him for coming. He surprises her by saying he owes her an apology. He admits that constantly baiting her into arguments wasn't fair to her or their daughter. Alexis agrees, but she wonders what prompted this change. He mentions that Cody offered him some new perspective recently. She accepts his apology and he returns the gesture. Alexis notes she didn't apologize yet, and Diane jokingly suggests they both move forward. They agree to call a truce and shake hands. Liz is on the phone with Lucas, telling him that from what little Rick shared, Portia has done something serious. She plans to meet him soon and heads to Charlie's, where Lucky has set up a dinner for them. He arranged for chicken parm from Lorenzo's in New York City, sparking memories of their trip there years ago. Lucky suggests they take a little getaway to New York, and they reminisce about their unforgettable time. Lucas plays a song from the mixtape he made for Liz, the one they listened to on their drive to New York. They share a dance and Lucky excitedly mentions he found the hotel they stayed at and booked them a room. They're interrupted by Liz's work alarm signaling the start of her shift. She thanks him, but he asks if she's decided about the trip. She smiles, saying he already knew the answer. At the hospital, Stella arrives for her appointment with Lucas. She's being tested for kidney disease as a precaution due to her high blood pressure, a risk factor. Lucas explains that he's also at risk because of his diabetes, having undergone similar tests. They share some educational details about kidney disease in a clear PSA moment. Felicia accompanies Sasha to her latest appointment and, as her patient advocate, asks if she's thought about adding her baby's father to her medical file. Sasha responds that she doesn't want Jason involved. Felicia advises her to resolve everything with Jason before the baby's birth, as he could later file for paternity and seek rights to the child. Sasha is confident Jason won't do that. Still, on her way out, Sasha leaves Jason a message, saying they need to address something important. As Ziad and Jordan return to her place after a long hike, they kiss and Jordan updates him on her discussion with Ezra Boyle about Laura and Sonny's relationship. She agrees with Ezra's point that if Laura had developed the Esplanade, it would have revitalized the area, affecting Sonny's business. She's realizing that Laura will never view Sonny as the threat he is. While Jordan acknowledges Sonny's good deeds with his wealth, she knows that doesn't negate his dangerous side. She mentions others like Drew and Ezra who do good things, but she trusts Sonny much more than them. If she were mayor, she would shut down Sonny's operations, but right now, she feels compelled to side with Sonny and Laura. Naina arrives at Ava's place to see her, mentioning that she and Portia may soon figure out how to handle their issue with Drew. Ava is glad, but quickly leaves to take Avery to Sonny's. Naina finds it curious that Ava's in a rush to see someone who dislikes her. Ava explains that she and Sonny are trying to get along for Avery's benefit, and she's seeing him in a new light after a revealing conversation. At Sonny's, Christina leaves a voicemail for Isaiah, warning about the potential fallout if her father misses his medication. Molly shows up and Christina wonders if something's wrong. Molly explains their mom told her Christina was there, and she wants to reconnect with her sister. She shares how she's lost so many loved ones recently and longs for things to return to how they were before everything changed. She regrets not being able to see Sam anymore and doesn't want their relationship to be strained, only rekindled in times of crisis. Christina asks what Molly has in mind. Molly suggests starting small, like movie nights, and points out that their mom needs this just as much as they do. They share a laugh, and Christina admits she's missed Molly. Molly agrees and they share a hug. They're interrupted by a knock at the door. Ava arrives with Avery. Christina asks Molly to take Avery to the playroom where Pilar is. Once they're alone, Ava brings up the incident with Sonny the other day when he had his attack. She asks if he's seeing a doctor. That it's none of her business. Ava disagrees, stating that if Sonny isn't well, Avery should be with her full time. She's confident a judge would side with her. Ava leaves. Molly goes to her mom's office, where she finds her dad. He suggests they have dinner together this weekend and heads out. Diane finds the entire exchange intriguing and leaves the Davis women to talk. Alexis explains that she invited her father here to call a truce, but Rick beat her to it. She says Cody spoke with him and made a difference. Alexis notes that today, Rick took the high road and she accepted his olive branch. Molly points out that her mom deserves some credit too. Alexis asks if there's a reason for Molly's visit, though she's happy to see her. Molly tells her mom that she and Christina talked about getting things back on track and even considered having a classic Davis girls' night. Alexis is excited. At Sonny's office, Jason is upset after hearing about the situation with Ava and insists that Sonny get the surgery immediately. Sonny refuses, saying it's too dangerous with his family at risk. Brick enters with news about the man who almost killed Michael. Brick reveals that the man's name is Stilinski, an ex-intelligence officer and contract killer. Sonny says that explains Valentine's involvement. Rick adds that Stilinski can only be hired through the dark web and has tracked him to Toronto. Jason offers to head there on Sonny's plane right away. Brick warns Jason to be extra careful, as Stilinski is extremely dangerous. Sonny thanks Brick for the intel, and they agree to take care of him. Once Brick leaves, Sonny insists that he's going with Jason to Toronto. Jason refuses, arguing that his health is too fragile, and Stilinski is just a middleman. They still need to figure out who hired him. Sonny won't be swayed, grabs his gun, and insists that he won't let anyone harm his family again. They leave, and the camera lingers on a photo of Michael and Morgan on Sonny's desk. At Jordan's place, she tells Asaya she would never try to steal Laura's job, but if it were her, she'd stay far away from Sonny. There's a knock at the door, and it's Brick with flowers. He asks if she's free for dinner, but when he sees Asaya, Jordan says she already has plans. Brick assumes they're a couple and offers to leave them alone. Jordan asks Brick not to share the news that she's seeing Asaya. He agrees to keep it quiet and adds that he hopes Asaya isn't involved in any of his family's shady activities, which he's heard about. Once Brick leaves, Jordan asks Asaya about his family. Asaya says Brick has clearly looked into him and asks if she told him to. Jordan says she didn't, but she trusts Asaya to be open with her about anything she needs to know. Ava returns home to find Rick sitting in her living room with a drink. He parked in her spot because all the visitor spots were full. She's annoyed, having had to park on the street. Rick, in a good mood, says he's not here to argue and kisses her. He mentions that he and Alexis have called a truce for the sake of their daughter. Just then, Christina bangs on the door, demanding Ava open it so they can finish this once and for all. Chase comes home to find Brooke Lynn working in the kitchen. He thought she'd be a deception. Brooke Lynn says she prefers working from home to being in the office. Chase asks if Lulu is harassing her, and Brooke Lynn reveals she quit, partly because of him. Chase says he meant to tell her about their conversation, but Lulu had to break the news first. Brooke Lynn appreciates him looking out for her but says that threatening to arrest Lulu isn't the right move. He insists he'll do whatever it takes to keep her and her secrets safe. Brooke Lynn says Lulu is probably upset because Dunton never told her about Brooke Lynn's past with him. Chase calls Lulu selfish, only caring about herself. Brooke Lynn acknowledges this, saying she wishes she could make things easier for him. He reassures her that this isn't her fault, but he has to come to terms with the fact that she had a child with his best friend. She asks him not to compromise himself or who he is because of Lulu. They share a hug. Christina just can't seem to leave well enough alone. Avery is safe at her dad's house, and Ava left without any issues, but Christina feels the need to chase after her. When she arrives at Ava's apartment and starts banging on the door, Ava hesitantly lets her in, knowing she's in for another round of Christina's ranting. Rick has just made peace with Alexis and doesn't want to get caught up in another conflict with his daughter, but Christina won't back down. Will Ava match Christina's intensity? Does she poke at Christina even more, unaware that she's dealing with someone who may need professional help? Once again, Christina swears she'll stop Ava, but does she go about it in the worst possible way and make something with Ava's car? But does she accidentally tamper with Rick's car instead, because he just so happened to park in Ava's spot? Yikes. Meanwhile, after everything that went down with Valentin in recent weeks, Anna takes a moment to reflect on her past. Last summer, she never imagined she'd see Valentin again. Then she was the one who arrested him and sent him to an international prison. Is Anna ready for a fresh start? Could there even be a new romance in her future with someone who was once her daughter's boyfriend? The possibilities are endless now that she's reunited Charlotte with her mother. Anna's granddaughter knows exactly what she wants. She is determined to save the Quartermain crypt, no matter what. Aware that Councilman Boyle is bringing in bulldozers, Emma and Gio head to the crypt to fix things. Emma even takes some drastic action that catches everyone off guard. While the chaos unfolds at the crypt, Drew attempts to smooth things over with Kai, but will it work? Little does he know, Liz and Tracy are talking about him. And it's not exactly a flattering conversation. Today on General Hospital, Cody offers advice to Lulu, Emma and Gio present their idea to Brooklyn, and Ezra makes a threat against Laura. In the deception office, Brooklyn accuses Lulu of being upset because Dante kept their past a secret. Lulu responds that the only thing bothering her is that Brooklyn lied to Dante for years, and now she has to do the same. Brooklyn suggests that Lulu wants to tell Dante so that he'll hate her, and she doesn't care if it ruins their son's life. Lulu says it doesn't matter why she wants to tell Dante, because she had already agreed not to. Gio and Emma arrive and immediately sense the tension. Brooklyn tells them they were in the middle of a disagreement. Lulu responds that they were fighting because Brooklyn is self-serving, but Brooklyn interrupts her and Lulu storms out. Brooklyn is worried about how Tracy will react to Lulu quitting. Gio reassures her that they have an idea that will give Tracy what she wants most. They pitch their plan to save the crypt. Brooklyn is impressed, but asks why they brought it to her. They explain they went to Ned, but she dismisses this as her father focuses only on the financial side. They ask if they should continue, but Brooklyn advises against it. Brooklyn admits it's a good idea, but she doesn't want them getting tangled in the Quartermain family drama. She agrees to talk to her father about it. Brooklyn receives an urgent call, so Gio and Emma leave. Emma suggests to Gio that they should speak with Monica since the house belongs to her. At the Quartermain estate, Tracy enjoys tea with Curtis and Stella. Tracy compliments Curtis on his sports initiative coverage at the hospital, and Curtis mentions he takes pride in getting the facts right. Stella notes that Curtis and Tracy have similar interests, so she thought it would be good for them to get to know each other. They're interrupted when Tracy answers a call and says, "Let him in, we're in the solarium." Tracy adds, "This should be interesting." Drew storms in, exclaiming, "Of course, you teamed up with Tracy." Curtis clarifies that he's not teamed up with anyone. Drew brings up Curtis' coverage, pointing out that Curtis referred to him as Drew Kane. Tracy reminds him that is his legal name, and Drew has no claim to the Quartermain name. Curtis explains that the cease and desist order required Aurora to use his legal name. He also adds that the focus should be on the sports initiative and the kids, not on Drew's ego. Drew warns Curtis that if things get ugly, they can make it worse. Drew leaves angrily, and both Stella and Tracy are amused. Stella calls it the start of a great friendship. Curtis decides to leave them to their conversation. Tracy laughs about how Drew nearly lost his composure, and she's impressed by how Stella defended Curtis. Stella notes they both share a strong sense of family. In the boathouse, Cody finds Lulu taking out her frustrations on a pool toy. He stops her, reminding her that James loves the inflatable frog. He asks what's going on. Lulu says she needed to vent before seeing Rocco, and Brooklyn got her all worked up. She wonders if she's as bad as Brooklyn thinks she is. Lulu reveals that she's struggling with the fact that Denton never told her about his past with Brooklyn. Cody reminds her that they were just teenagers and it was only one summer. He suggests Dante probably didn't think it mattered since nothing came of it. Lulu disagrees, saying something significant did come of it. She admits she always sensed there was more to Brooklyn's interest in Dante. He lied to her about their past, and now she realizes they've been lying to each other. Lulu accepts that her relationship with Dante is over, but own experience of discovering he wasn't raised by his birth family, but eventually he got over it. Lulu hopes she can do the same. She reflects on how Dante lied about Brooklyn, who tried to break them up for money. Now she's caught up in the lies too. Cody reassures her that just because she made some mistakes doesn't mean she's a bad person. Lulu jokes, like I should trust your judgment. You pick up hitchhikers. At Sonny's, Ava asks Sonny, who is on the floor, should I call 911? Do you need those pills? Isn't it terrible to be in need, and nobody will help you? To know they could do one small thing, but instead they stand by and watch you suffer. How dare you judge me? Suddenly, Christina rushes in and Ava feigns surprise. Christina cries, why didn't you help him? As Christina gives Sonny his pills, Ava claims that he just collapsed, and she's never seen him like this. She asks if she should call 911, but Christina tells her to leave, so Ava departs. Christina tells her dad she'll call an ambulance, but he insists she call Dr. Gannon instead. She helps him onto the couch and asks what happened with Ava. Sonny explains he lost his temper and then suddenly experienced intense pain. He tried to grab his pills but dropped them. Christina can't believe Ava just stood there. Dr. Gannon arrives, quickly rushing to Sonny's side and checking him over. Christina vents that Ava could have helped him, but Sonny insists it's better for Ava not to know what the pills are for. Christina thinks they should go to the hospital, but Sonny refuses, saying he's fine. Dr. Gannon adds that Sonny is stable now and GH can only monitor him. Sonny asks Christina to give him a moment alone with Dr. Gannon, so Christina says she'll head to Charlie's. Once alone, Dr. Gannon tells Sonny he's going to contact the surgeon in LA to schedule his surgery. Sonny refuses to go ahead with it right now. He explains his health is secondary if he loses his family, and there's a security issue he needs to resolve before undergoing surgery. He insists the procedure can wait 2 weeks. He appreciates Dr. Gannon's care but says he owes him nothing. Dr. Gannon insists he only owes it to himself to get the surgery as soon as possible. At the Port Charles Grill, Jordan warns Laura that Councilman Boyle attended Drew's press conference, and the two of them seemed overly friendly. Laura doesn't like the implications and wonders what they might be up to together. She's happy the sports initiative is going well but knows Drew won't appreciate PERTA's coverage of it. Ezra Boyle arrives, joins them, and mentions that some environmental groups are upset over the Esplanade project due to a snail issue. The project has been delayed, and Laura acknowledges she's read the report. Ezra suggests they could solve this by moving the snails, which would prevent further delays. Laura disagrees, saying it doesn't make sense to move the project away from the city center. Even if they did, they would still face delays due to Sonny's opposition. Ezra remarks, "You seem to know exactly what Sonny would do, considering how close you are." Laura asks what he's implying. He denies any implication but suggests she reconsider her stance, warning her she might have to answer questions about her ties to a well-known figure in the criminal world. Ezra says Laura and Sonny share a grandchild, and people might speculate she's protecting Sonny's interests. He hints that the press might suggest she's doing this for her own financial gain. Laura confidently responds that such claims would be immediately disproven because she has nothing to hide. She files her financials every year, unlike him. Laura tells him their conversation is over and asks Jordan if she needs a ride to the office. Jordan says she'll meet her back there. Once alone, Jordan warns Ezra that any attempts to smear Laura will backfire. He suggests she could be the city's next mayor if she plays her cards right and asks, as a former police commissioner, how he justifies Laura's connection to Sonny. Jordan defends Laura's integrity, saying she's honest and well-respected as mayor. Ezra counters that if he wants to gain political favor, resigning in protest over Laura's ties to Sonny would be a powerful move. Ava meets with Rick, thanking him for coming. She explains what happened at Sonny's, revealing something is seriously wrong with him. Rick makes a call and discovers his brother hasn't been admitted to GH, then asks Ava to explain what happened. She recounts the events, including Sonny dropping his bottle of pills. She says she was going to help him, but Christina arrived, gave him a pill, and seemed to know exactly what was going on. Rick says Sonny's been on medication for years, but Ava insists it's not for pain. Sonny could barely breathe and something wasn't right with him. Rick remarks he's enjoying the idea of Sonny's downfall, that Sonny told her if it weren't for Avery, he'd have her killed. She's sure Sonny is hiding something serious. Ezra meets with Drew at the bar, and Drew asks for help dealing with Tracy Quartermain. Drew knows Ezra has connections at Public Works and wants the Quartermain crypt demolished immediately. Ezra tells Drew this is his battle, but Drew insists the Quartermains were informed months ago about moving the crypt, and they haven't acted. He wants it demolished by tomorrow. Jordan visits Curtis' office and thanks him for the positive coverage of her at the press conference. She also appreciates how he referred to Drew as Drew Kane, saying well done. Curtis laughs, recalling Drew's reaction when he caught him having tea with Aunt Stella and Tracy. Curtis knows Drew's ego will push him to make a reckless move, exposing his true character. Jordan warns him to be careful of the potential unintended consequences. Laura arrives to visit her friend as Dr. Gannon is leaving Sonny's house. She can tell Sonny isn't well and asks him not to tell anyone about the house call. Sonny admits he has a heart condition and explains that he needs to handle some business before his surgery in 2 weeks. He needs to avoid stress until then, and while he's been managing, today's encounter with Ava triggered a setback. Fortunately, Christina was there to help him, and Dr. Gannon checked him over. Sonny tells her he doesn't want anyone, not his family, friends, or enemies, to know about his condition. He's thinking about Port Charles as a whole. Laura promises she'll keep his secret. Christina visits Irene/Adela's grave and vents about what happened at Sonny's, expressing how Ava didn't help him. She cries, saying Ava was killing him, just like she killed Adela. Christina says nobody sees how dangerous Ava is except her. She declares, I have to stop her. Ava has to be stopped and I have to stop her. Come back to our channel for all your updates. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.